think's going to have the more successful year? Cam or Tom?
Brady. Tom Brady. Easily. Cam Newton don't have Mike Evans. Cam Newton don't have Chris Godwin. Cam Newton don't have Rob Gronkowski. Cam Newton don't have O.J. Howard or Cameron Brate. Cam Newton don't have Shady McCoy and now Leonard Fournette in the backfield. He don't have those weapons. So I think it's easy to surmise that I expect Tom Brady to have a better season. Listen, the brilliance of Bill Belichick cannot be denied. But that's when it comes to winning football games, not necessarily having a prolific offense if you're bereft of the weapons necessary to have that prolific offense, which I think is the issue with New England. Now, obviously, players are going to get better. You surmise that they're going to be better than they were last year. Julian Edelman is still there. James White, Sony Michel is still there. I get all of that. But in the end, Tampa Bay's Tampa Bay. Tom Brady's got a crew. Plus, he's highly motivated. So I think that the easy answer in that regard, particularly considering the fact that he's playing in the NFC South, who appears to be allergic to defense anyway, with New Orleans and Atlanta and Carolina rebuilding with Matt Rule, their new $60 million man coach, for crying out loud. I think it's clearly going to be Tom Brady with the better season, without question.
Now, you would think that because it does seem simple to you, but this is actually much more complex. This is not just a matter of who puts up the better numbers. The expectations are much higher for Tom Brady because, as you mentioned, he has an embarrassment of riches with a great coach, OC, underrated defense, his security blanket in Rob Gronkowski, all the receivers you just mentioned, all the tight ends you just mentioned, now running backs, at least name brand running backs, if not really, really good ones. Brady has everything, and as you mentioned, the division, there should be some shootouts and all that. So if Brady puts up bigger numbers, you're going to say, well, that means he had more success. No, it doesn't. You have to measure it against expectations. Cam's coming off injury. Cam is going to a team that you, Stephen A., don't try and change it now. Well, the weapons should be better. You said bereft of offensive weapons all last year to make excuses for a declining Tom Brady.
I just said that about Cam.
Not only do they not have the offensive weapons, but half their defense opted out of this season. They're leading the league in opt-outs, and the defense was going to be depleted anyway. So into that walks Cam Newton, into a situation where the Bills were on the come up even last year when the Patriots had continuity and their full complement of defensive players. Even then, the Bills were nipping at their heels, right? But now the Bills, by many lights, are favorites over the Patriots. Now Cam not only has to come back from injury and prove he still has it, but in a brand new system. And what has Belichick been saying? This dude is next level competitive. He has the highest level of competitiveness and work ethic. This is Bill Belichick talking about Cam Newton. Now, if Cam is physically okay, think about Cam physically and all the things that, crying for Tom Brady, he doesn't have the weapons, Yeah, Cam doesn't have those weapons either, but guess what? He's going to make lemonade out of lemons on this team because Cam can do that when he's at his best. And there's good reason to believe that he'll be better than ever by the middle or late part of this season. If they both make the playoffs and Tom Brady puts up bigger numbers, you think that means he had a better year given the circumstances? No way. And Cam might just be entering his prime while Tom Brady's on decline. Cam's going to have the better year.
Well, listen, I think it's what are we defining by more successful? Are we talking about stats, or are we talking about, from a player's perspective, how much further the team gets? Because if we're going by purely stats, I think we can all surmise that Tom Brady is probably going to have better stats than Cam Newton, just judging by the personnel that the Tampa Bay Bucks have on offense. We've talked about ad nauseum what they have. You know, they just acquired Leonard Fournette, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, okay, Gronk, O.J. Howard. They got so many guys up there. They don't even have enough balls to go around for all these weapons. But I'm going to go back to this here. Name me a team, an organization that's more resourceful than the New England Patriots. Name one. You won't find one, okay? We've talked about the Patriots and Bill Belichick, for about 20 years. They've never had the most talented of teams. But the one thing that I know, being in that organization, is that Coach Belichick is going to have you coached up, and he's going to have you in a situation where you're not going to beat yourselves. And when I look at the New England Patriots compared to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I see a couple things. Number one, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they have to deal with the New Orleans Saints and the Atlanta Falcons in that NFC South. Okay, the New Orleans Saints, they bring back their whole crew in an off season where you talk about continuity. It's going to be awfully hard for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to overtake the New Orleans Saints with that crew that they have over there. Now look at the AFC East. We talk about, and a lot of people talk about the Buffalo Bills. Yes, they've been nipping on the Patriots' heel, but I got a question for everyone here. How much faith do you have in the quarterback in Buffalo, Josh Allen? Do you have a lot of faith in Josh Allen? Okay, I have more faith in Bill Belichick and the hungry Cam Newton in that division. Okay, it's not the same division as the NFC South. Yes, Cam Newton is probably not going to put up the numbers that Tom Brady has, but I'm betting on the culture in New England and how they coach those guys up to give Cam Newton the edge as far as a better, more successful season.
Well, I actually consider your answer, Damien Woody, a non-answer. Because on one hand, you're talking about the culture, but you're not talking about numbers. And so as a result of that, it's entirely plausible that both things can happen. That Tom Brady has the numbers plus some success, and then obviously the culture continues on in New England, and they don't modify their position one way or another because they're in the AFC East going against Buffalo, Miami, and the New York Jets, and they'll be just fine. I'm just saying, could you define for me? Could you define for me? I'm asking a question. Could you define for me specifically what will make one better than the other in your estimation? Can you define success or failure? Because I didn't get that from you.
It's easy, Stephen A. For every player, what's success at the end of the season? It's getting to a championship. Which team do I think has an easier path to get there? I think I'm betting on Coach Belichick getting that team ready to go with Cam Newton as a quarterback. That's what I'm betting on.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.